Hey folks, welcome back to another track guide. This week we are at VIR North in the MX-5. It's a fixed series, so we haven't made any changes to the car, not even the brake bias. Tricky track this week, lots to do. I didn't have the best lap ever. There's definitely a little bit more time on the table, but it's clean and all the main points are there, so I hope you find it useful. And if you do, please do give it a like. Please do subscribe to the channel. And if you're feeling really generous, please do consider buying me a coffee to fuel my laps for next week. You can find the link in the description below. Have a really good one, guys. Let us know how you're getting on in the comments below. And I'll see you next time. Cheers. Here we go with my 1 minute 36.736 here at VIR North in the global Mazda MX-5. The weather conditions are spot on. The car is untouched, not even the brake bias. Obviously, it's a fixed setup. And as we come over the line, we're looking at the boards and we're focusing on the 2 and the 1 board. And basically halfway between the two, we're going to brake super heavily and we're going to start coming down through the gears. We're ultimately going to end up in first gear, but we don't want to rush when we get to second. So down to third, down to second, and now as we want to turn in, you notice that we're really starting to come out of the brakes. We've dropped down to first. We've given the throttle a blip, which is super important to keep the rear in check when you're going down to second and first gear in the MX-5. And we want to keep the car tight to the inside. So we only started to hit the throttle once we came over the end of the curb there. So we really start to hit throttle now and the car's tight to the inside. If you let the car float out too wide on turn 1, you're going to lose a lot of valuable time just through sheer driving distance alone. So we're keeping the car tight to the right. Even as we turn in here, we want the car out wide. And the reason is when this track surface changes right in front of us here, we want the car to be as straight as possible. We want the balance in the car to be steady. We don't want there to be too much weight over the right-hand side of the car, so we don't want to be turning too much at this point. We're going to brush the brakes for a period of time, quite a low brake bias, down to second. The car will flick in, and we're back on the gas on the inside curb. Plenty of exits to play with, and we're almost going to hit the rev limiter here. And then again, just as the track changes surface, there's a little bit of replacement surface there or something. We're going to hit the brakes. We're going to get down to first. And we're going to get tight to this inside curb. And keep the car relatively far over. We're back into the gas gently initially. Because whilst the car's on this curb here, it's going to be a little bit unsettled. So we don't want to hammer the gas too hard. And what we're trying to do here is sacrifice the exit for this turn to open up the next right-hander. We don't have to be right over to the left, but far over to the left is pretty good. let the car get pretty deep into the corner here, and then we're going to turn it in. We're going to keep the foot to the floor. If you've got cold tyres, then you can't really hold the throttle down all the way around there. You're going to need to lift a little bit. But once the car's warmed up, that's flat round there. And then we're going to take quite a steep right-hand up a hill. So we're looking on the right-hand side. We can see there is some dirt in the track. And just at that transition between the grass and the dirtier sort of brown surface off the side of the track there, we're going to brake heavily in a straight line initially. And we're going to come down to second. And then we're going to turn in. As we're coming out of the brake there, as you can see, we're going to dip into first, come out of the brake even more, really start initiating that rotation in the car. And we're not that far over to the left-hand side of the track. We're quite tight to the inside. And then we want to get on the gas nice and early. And that'll bring us out just right for this little S's section we've got coming up. And for this, what we need to do, we're just going up to third. And then as we hit this little access road on the right-hand side, we're going to tip the car in, just come out of the throttle ever so slightly. Just get that rotation started. You can use all of this curb and a little bit more. And then we want to use all of this curb as well. Now, I caught this curb a bit heavy, so the back of my car went out. I lost a 10th round here easily. But then as we come up over the top of the hill, we can see the end of this curb. As soon as we see the end of that curb, we're straight into the brakes and we're heavily down to first gear again. We're keeping the car over to the left-hand side initially. And then when we can see the inside curb, we want to get on it and dive onto the gas. We want to be tight on the inside there. The track on the left-hand side there really falls away quickly. So if you're not tight, you're in danger of running out of track there. Now, the little knack to this little section here is at the end of the curb where we're positioned now, we just want to delay our turn in just a little bit so that we're not too on the outside curb on the left-hand side of the track. We don't want to get too heavily into it. So you'll notice I'm approaching it slightly towards the end of the curb. We're out of the gas. And as soon as the car's balanced again, once it's come off that curb, and we don't want to attack that curb too much, we're into the brakes. And the car wants to be pointing in towards that inside curb now. Then we're out of the brake again. And then we're at about 60% gas just as we're hitting this curb. And we'll hold that until the car lands, gets settled, and we'll build up the throttle again. Super easy to run out of exit on this corner. So you just got to, you want to carry the speed, carry as much speed as you can, but not be too aggressive on the accelerator coming out of that corner, especially if the car's a little bit upset from the curbs, because the tyres just aren't going to grip up and you're not going to make the exit. So that concludes our 1 minute 36.736 here at VIR North. It's going to be a great racing track here this week. It's quite technical, so if you can be confident around the circuit, there's some good opportunities for overtaking, particularly coming in here to turn 1. So have a really good week of racing. I hope it goes well for you guys. Let us know how you're getting on in the comments below. Give it a like if you found it useful. Please do subscribe if you want more of this kind of thing in the future. Don't forget, I live stream on a Thursday night here in the UK. So come and check it out. I normally do rookie races and some D-class and things like that. And also on a Sunday too. Enjoy the rest of your week of racing. I hope it goes really well. See you next time. Cheers.